Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Begin with that of stories. After tempers seem to have calmed down in Bamenda, chief town of the northwest region, the protagonists in the ongoing crisis have again soiled their hands. Last evening, a police officer knocked life out of a young man at upstation while separatists dumped a human head at Azari, Old Church Junction. We'll have more in this edition of Newscast. And icons of Christ, Virgin Mary, St. Michael, the Archangel, the Divine Mercy, and many others of the Marian Sanctuary at Simaleng have been broken, the hands and heads cut off, while the hearts of Mary was wide open. The act took place on the night breaking Wednesday by unknown individuals. In Cameroon, despite election board's recent efforts to boost voter registration, only 1,144,817 new registrations were recorded in 3 months for the year 2024. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. After tempers seems to have calmed down in chief town Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon, the protagonists of the ongoing crisis have again soiled their hands. Last evening, a police officer knocked life out of a young man at upstation while separatists dumped a human head at Azari, Old Church Junction this morning. On this part by riders halted traffic circulation at the administrative headquarters. More on the story with a reporter, Saleh Sharifa and Collins Anye.
Two more scenes of horror have sent shocking waves running down the spines of the population of Bamenda this Thursday morning. The denizens were already going about their daily activities when they suddenly heard some gunshots that were followed by the discovery of a human head at the Azaya Old Church Junction in Bamenda 2 subdivision. Separatist fighters are suspected to have dropped the head near the usual garbage pile next to the wall of the Bamenda Regional Hospital. The incident scared the population, especially traders who shut up their businesses to join others who had stayed indoors for security reasons. At press time, no one had claimed responsibility for the acts, just as no one has identified the fresh and dark-colored face on the head. However, it is not clear whether the beheaded is related to Wednesday evening's gruesome murder of a boy by a police officer in plain clothes in a beer parlor at the upstation neighborhood considered the safest area in Bamenda 1 subdivision. According to eyewitnesses, the victim was drinking when he discovered the man accosted a girl asking for her telephone number, and when she refused, he wounded her with a knife. The blood running down the girl's hand attracted the attention of the boy, who did not know his intervention will cost his own life, as the policeman used the same knife to stab him several times on the neck, killing him almost instantly. As expected, commercial motorcycle riders took to the streets, blocking traffic circulation at the regional administrative headquarters, precisely at the Governor's Junction. It took the intervention of the senior divisional officer for Mazam, the divisional officer for Bamenda 1, and security forces to talk down the angry bike riders who were demanding severe punishment for the killer police officer. Traffic circulation was reinstated a few minutes later.
And icons of Christ, of Virgin Mary, St. Michael, the Archangel, the Divine Mercy, and many others of the Maria Sanctuary at Simaleng have been broken. The hands and heads are cut off, while the hearts of Mary are wide open. The act took place on the night breaking Wednesday by unknown individuals. The desecration of this holy site open to all sorts of prayers, meditations, reconciliation, and solace shrine moment for the Catholic Church in Cameroon. Beatrice Gamo completes that story.
The sacrilege was here, at this place where icons of the saints are placed at the Marian Sanctuary, Simalen. One after the other, each saw a part of bodies destroyed. That fateful Tuesday night, breaking yesterday, Wednesday.
The hands and the head of the icon here have been broken down. The crucifixes, we can see the icon of the Virgin Mary, St. John, the many other icons, St. Michael, the Archangel, everywhere here in this area. And even the Divine Mercy, everything broken down.
Acts to destroy this holy and prayer site, where many come for solace, comfort, and above all to strengthen their faith.
Because here at the Marian Sanctuary, there is a kind of reconciliation. We celebrate the reconciliation between the state of Cameroon and the church.
The church, in the face of all this, always remains strong. So too the faithful, though in shock and disbelief.
Ouf.
Our eyes heavy with tears as a Christian, for nothing like this has ever happened here. The act notwithstanding, spiritual activities not in any way disturbed. Prayer sessions intensified as the fight is on. The devil wants to dominate at Simalen, and it is not possible. It cannot happen. On the contrary, it is the manifestation of God's glory. Coming just few days after Easter, security at the Marian Sanctuary needs to be reinforced as the operators first put off the lights before carrying mission.
After breaking down icons, I don't know, those people, when they will come again, they will break what?
Investigations has been opened to get the actors, but for the time being, the do not cross yellow tape has been put all around the place.
Markets encroaching on roads, makeshift stalls on pavements, disrespect the highway code, poor waste disposal, noise pollution and garbage heaps littering roads and gutters, and numerous disorders rife in the capital city, Yaounde. And determined to install order, the senior divisional officer of Fundi, Emmanuel Maria Dicten, met with some actors this Wednesday in Yaounde. Don pleasant picture begging for attention in this report with Beatrice Ngamu.
Traders added to the market in Yaounde have encroached on the road, passing in front of the market. Bikes like car tried their luck only at night when the traders have left. The pavement not left out. Individuals have transformed any available space to makeshift stalls. To pass here very difficult. You see traders selling on the road, impossible to circulate. The non-respect of the highway code, bike like yellow cabs autos, poor waste disposal with dangerous odor oozing here and there, pollutes the air, noise and odor hitting high in bars and drinking spots. The sad picture of the capital Yaounde. For some time now, disorderliness as a cankerworm is thriving. It is not about ignorance, as many understand their acts are inappropriate and breeds disorder, but they still there. It is not good. We know it is not correct. But due to life situation, we are obliged to do, even when we are threatened. Smart as they think, bike riders stay on bike, ready to disappear once the sound of the forces of law and order or municipal agents is whispered. Kinds of cat and mouse game. Once control is around, you might think you are on a highway unknown to you. But once they are gone, the hawkers like car owners back to normal disorder. It is to put a stop to this and give Yaounde the look it deserves that the senior divisional officer, Emmanuel Maria Dicten, met with actors of urban transportation, that of bars and leisure centers and hawkers. At the end of the day, he has suspended some 42 drinking bars and centers for noise pollution.
And in Cameroon, despite the election board's recent efforts to boost voter registration, only 144,817 new registrations were recorded in 3 months for the year 2024. The slow update, particularly among certain demographics, remains disturbing to civil society actors. More in the following story. The recent announcement by Cameroon's election boards revealing 144,817 new voter registration for the first 3 months in 2024 reflects a lukewarm response from the population, particularly among specific groups. Of these registrations, 90,124 are men and 54,693 are women. Figures that have sparked concern within civil society circles, despite both strategic plans for 2024-2025 and training initiatives. Political actors and civil society actors are advocating for alternative methods to stimulate voter registration. If I have to base my facts on potential voters, 144,000 new voters is relatively low, because if I have to multiply this by 4 trimesters, it will give us a round figure of 800,000 people, what I find insufficient. An element of concern lies in the low representation of certain demographics within the voter pool. Out of the total registrations, only 129 individuals with disabilities were recorded, highlighting the need for more inclusive strategies in the registration process. Additionally, the gender gap remains apparent, with 90,124 women registered compared to 101,848 young voters, as reported during the first ordinary session of 2024 by Eno Abrams Egbe, President of Election Board.
Tant qu'on ne réforme pas le système électoral.
If the electoral process does not go through a reform, so it gives confidence to people on the quality of the electoral process, I bet you it will not help boost participation in Cameroon. While the board's efforts are commendable, the slow pace of voter registration suggests underlying challenges that need to be addressed. Political stakeholders and civil society actors are calling for innovative approaches to engage the population and ensure broader participation in the electoral process. And gynecologists have decried the rates of infant mortality in Cameroon, which they say is still very high, caused by a good number of factors standing tall. In a press conference in Yaounde, the Society of Gynecologists and Obstetricians of Cameroon announced a critical review of the situation during their upcoming 32nd Congress in Yaounde. More with our reporter, Aisencha.
About 52 out of 100 lives are lost during birth in Cameroon in 2024, though with a decrease of 2.23% compared to 2023. The infant mortality rate is still very high compared to other countries, and this is caused by 4 major factors.
Le premier retard, c'est le retard au diagnostic du problème que la femme a.
The first problem is the late diagnosis of the women's problem, when some women do not even know that they have complications. There is a structural problem as well, where women are diagnosed but unable to stay in a single place and follow treatment. Another major reason is the limited services in hospitals. With all this, it is difficult to reduce the infant mortality rate to 0%.
On n'arrive pas vraiment à mettre ça, à réduire ça à 0.
As to why many women nowadays are easily operated during the birth process, the Society of Gynecologists and Obstetricians of Cameroon underline that though the rate must not go above 15%, it is a good medical action to avoid complications for both the mother and the unborn child.
La césarienne, il n'y a pas une inflation de la césarienne.
It is not a bad thing to operate. The World Health Organization encourages at least a 5% rate, but not more than 15%. It reduces complications. In Cameroon at the moment, it is at about 10%.
Et autour de 10 à 15% dans la plupart des formations hospitalières.
Clarifications made during a press briefing this April 4th in Yaounde, as SOGOG announces the major axes of their 32nd Congress at the Yaounde Conference Center from the 10th to the 13th of April, holding under the theme Obstetrics and Gynecology in Sub-Saharan Africa, Bridging the Gap Between Tradition and Modernity.
Joseph Desiree Ngele has been installed as the new commander of the Gendarmerie Legion in the far north region of Cameroon, appointed by presidential decree on March 13, 2024, overseen by General Jules Cesar Esso, commander of the 4th Gendarmerie regions. His first mission is to combat Boko Haram attacks in the region. In a formal military ceremony, General Jules Cesar Esso delineated the responsibilities entrusted to the new Legion commander, emphasizing the coordination of security activities across the entire region, particularly amidst ongoing threats from Boko Haram terrorist sects and ransom-seeking hostage takers. The event was attended by the region's governor, Mindiyawa Bakari, General Muhammadu, commander of the 4th Terrestrial Military Sector, as well as other high-ranking military officials and administrative figures. The appointment comes amidst heightened tensions between gendarmes and local population in Mayodane division following the recent conflict in Kaikai district on March 31, which resulted in the tragic loss of a gendarme and 4 civilians. Colonel Joseph Desiree Ngele expressed his intention to visit the site of the incident in Kaikai in the coming days to offer condolences, provide support to the victims' families, and advocate for constructive collaboration between the parties involved. Notably, the new commander is no stranger to the region, having previously served at the Maroa Gendarmerie Squadron. And in a stunning display of artistic prowess, renowned folklore artist Vanessa has released an album with 35 songs. The staggering 35 tracks open various genres and musical styles. Vanessa has presented his new album to the public. As we hear from our reporter, Christy Ayare.
Ma sugar banana, ma sweetie, ma faiblesse. Depuis que t'es là, j'oublie qu'Ayana Kamura m'intéresse. Quand je te regarde, je pense à draguer Rihanna. Oh, ça donne la paresse.
With each track carefully crafted to evoke different emotions and take listeners on a sonic journey, this ambitious release promises to captivate audience from start to finish.
C'est tout simplement.
It's just passion and a means of passing message to the public. So I think with 35 tracks, everyone can get what suits him.
Chacun peut se retrouver.
Notably recognized for his passion, Vanessa uses his songs to convey powerful messages to the public, as evident in one of his songs titled No So.
Ça fait mal de voir des frères.
It pains when you see brothers killing themselves. We are all Cameroonians. Our brothers over there are suffering. And the worst is that the innocent ones are the ones affected. Children, mothers that have nothing to do with the conflict.
Qui alimente.
The album will be available in all platforms as from the 5th of April.
The English language on Canal International, and coming up next is The Brief with Emekati Mukori. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.